Hey everyone, welcome back. This is going to be my coverage of the fourth segment of the Spector vs. Reynolds match from the round of 16 of the most recent USBCs from 2022. Let's get right into the action. All the players have finished eating dinner, and I guess they're pretty well rested. Some of these have substituted out for some of the fresher pairs in their partnership. So we have John Kraniak and Vince DeMoy, Kevin Bathurst and John Hurd for the Spector team, and for the Reynolds team we have John Jones and Claude Vogel in the open room, and Lance Kerr and Tom Reynolds in the closed room. So taking a look at the scorecard, this looks like another large win for the Spector team, and I suspect they're probably going to continue this pace throughout the rest of the match. They've proved to be the stronger team so far in every segment they've played. Looking at some of the hands that I can see immediately, there are a couple of large swings. Once again, on board 52, we have another game swing where one side made their game and the other went down in the same contract on the same opening lead. So let's jump into that one and take a look at what's going on in this deal. So here, let's swap over to the Spector perspective as Kevin Bathurst takes the reins and declares 3 no trump. So he opens a 15 to 17 no trump. It's interesting to me that they play 15 to 17s. I've noticed that they have been passing 11 counts during some of these reviews, and I think that's not really an expert standard systemic decision. At least it wasn't when I was playing. So the fact that they're playing a full 15 to 17 rather than allowing for some 14 counts to be potentially upgraded tells me that maybe they're committed to that choice where they want to have very solid opening bids at the one level. So East with 14, great controls, but nothing special in the way of distribution. Tries Stamen, finds out that their partner has a spade suit, and then, of course, just bids 3 no trump. While East has a great hand and could have up to 31 combined high card points between the two hands, without finding a fit, it's very hard to justify going past the game level in these sorts of auctions. So, okay. North is on opening lead. This auction has shown that East has 4 hearts, because otherwise East would have just jumped to 3 no trump over 1 no trump without going through Stamen in the first place. So North knows that West has 4 spades, East has 4 hearts, but probably should still lead a heart against this auction. That seems to be the most likely place for our side to be taking tricks, and we have a lot of defensive assets. We have 8 high card points against opponents who have bid a game. So if our partner does have, for example, the King of Hearts, maybe with the 10, we could set up our heart tricks, and then maybe the Queen of Clubs is an entry to our hand, as opposed to if we tried to set up partner suit, which I suppose diamonds is a fairly safe and passive lead, then our partner is very unlikely to get back in this auction, and we might not be able to cash out partner's diamonds. So I might lead a heart, but I guess I could understand leading a diamond and just wanting to be safe. You know, maybe with all of these middling cards, the 9 of hearts, the 10 of clubs, the 7 of spades even, we don't want to be leading the Queen of Hearts and giving up a trick on the opening lead. So North chooses to lead a diamond. Again, a reasonable choice. And let's take a look from Declarer's perspective. So we have 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, and 2 spades off the top. All we're really looking for is 1 extra trick in this circumstance. The 7 of diamonds opening lead might indicate that North is leading from shortness, in which case we have to ask ourselves, well, why is North not leading from their longest suit? The reasoning for that, of course, being that their longest suit is a major that was promised in the auction. So with that inference, it's possible that West might, for example, try and play spade towards the 10 for a deep finesse to pick up the 9th trick in this contract. Other possibilities, we can take a club finesse. The jack of clubs offers us the possibility of gaining a trick. Clubs could, of course, split 3-3. And with the 10 of clubs falling, it's honestly a little hard to imagine that much is going to go wrong on this deal. But let's take a look at how Kevin Bathurst played the contract. So he won the king of diamonds and dummy. Okay, that indicates to me that he's probably looking to take a club finesse immediately. He tries to go after spades. So this makes a lot of sense as well. Our thought process in this is that even if the spades only break 4-2, we can set up the 5th round of spades. So as long as the opponents can't cash a large number of diamonds after we've set up our spade suit, then we can still collect our 9th trick with the 5th round of spades. So that's another possibility. There's a ton of options in general in 3 no-trump contracts, and so let's just take a look at what the players did. So after the king of spades, we play another spade to the... we duck a spade. Very reasonable. In terms of... Actually, this is a little curious to me, because playing the spade suit itself for just one loser, for example, if we overtake the 10 of spades with the ace, we can pick up any sort of honor doubleton in North's hand, queen doubleton or jack doubleton, because then our 9 and 8 of spades would be high, that we could force out the other honor. And then we wouldn't need any sort of luck in terms of the diamond suit not coming in for the opponents, giving them enough defensive tricks. Now, it might be the case, and I haven't looked too deeply into the hand, that this line of play by finessing into North's hand and then later finessing the club back into North's hand offers us a really strong chance of making the contract, especially if we know that the diamond opening lead is from shortness. But anyway, so this is a little interesting to me that he doesn't hop up with the spade ace to return another round of spades, discarding, for example, a heart from the dummy. Okay, so he elects to take a spade finesse, which on this layout of the cards doesn't really have any negative implications as opposed to playing ace and a spade. A second diamond gets returned, we duck, so very reasonable once again that what we're trying to do on this hand is isolate South's long diamond suit that we know about from the opening lead and make sure that the opponents are not going to cash in a bunch of diamond tricks after we set up our 9th trick, and it looks like it's going to be spades. Okay, so South switches to the 10 of hearts. This is a fairly normal thing to do when you realize that your long suit is stranded in 3 no-trump. I see a lot of beginning players just lead another diamond and say, oh, this is great, I can knock out the diamond ace, but they're never getting back in. So South is doing his best to now try and establish his partner suit or attack declares entries. For example, if the king and queen of hearts are switched, then this heart switch is going to set up a lot of defensive heart tricks for the opponents. But okay, we pop up with the king of hearts, and now we're completely safe to set up our 9th trick in spades. So Kevin Bathurst does indeed lead the ace of spades and set up his 9th trick. And at this point, the rest of the hand kind of plays itself. North is actually going to get squeezed in the round suits here for an over trick. So we don't need to take the club finesse at the end, we have our 9 tricks, but because the hearts were 5-2, the 8 of hearts is going to act as a threat to North's hand. So we cash the diamond, North pitches a heart, we cash the spade ace, North pitches another heart, and now we just play the ace king of clubs, and North, we see, has exactly 1 heart left, so therefore has exactly 2 clubs. and the jack of clubs will be high at the end of the hand. Okay, so 10 tricks. A lot of this line of play looks fairly normal to me, so I'm kind of curious what happened at the other table that caused them to go wrong. Now maybe a low heart lead could disrupt this line of play, because North, as we've kind of found out, is the one who's going to be getting in with the tricks. North has the spade guard and the heart length and the queen of clubs, which might win a trick. So if we go after hearts immediately, then maybe the opponents aren't able to actually set up their 9 tricks. Let's take a look at what they did at the other table. We have the same exact auction, 1 no trump 15 to 17 again. After Stamen and not finding out about a major suit fit, we end up in 3 no trump. So once again, North elects to lead the 7 of diamonds, probably for all the same reasons I mentioned at the other table, that we don't want to be giving up a trick on the opening lead, especially knowing that East has a 4-card heart suit. Declare at this table elects to duck the first round of diamonds. I don't like this line of play. We would rather have the opponents, well, I think there's a lot of, Alright, here are my thoughts. At the other table, Kevin Bathurst, on the same opening lead, found a line of play that he was comfortable with. He analyzed correctly the opening diamond lead and decided that he was just going to repeatedly take finesses into the North hand to try and isolate the diamond suit with South. By ducking a diamond trick, you're allowing the opponents to, for example, switch suits to hearts, and I think that's what's about to happen. And so you've given up a trick where you had 2 controls, and from a double dummy perspective, given that diamonds were 5-2 and South has no entry, you weren't actually going to lose a trick in this suit at all during this deal. So ducking this diamond trick feels like you're just hoping the opponents are going to lazily return the suit and say, okay, I plan to duck this trick at some point in the hand, may as well do it now. But the opponents don't have to be lazy like this. They obviously can go ahead and switch suits on you. And look at this. This is a great switch. It's curious to me why Vince didn't switch to the 10 of hearts. That seems like a more normal play because we're unblocking the heart suit. But I suppose actually on this layout, there's no way for Declare to take advantage of this and block the suit. Because if Declare plays the 7, the 9 will either force the ace, or if it holds, then a small heart will be ducked back around to the king. And if Declare hops up with the king of hearts, then North still has the queen jack 9, where they can overtake their partner's 10. So it looks like the 6 of hearts switch maybe conventionally is going to show North that he has a doubleton. And either way, this seems clearly indicated. Once again, South knows that his diamonds are never going to get set up on this deal. Partner is not leading the 7 of diamonds from ace 3rd on this kind of auction. So yeah, it looks like Declare just kind of dropped the ball. The contract can still be made, of course, but Declare needs to be a little careful in how he chooses to play the hand. So let's take a look at what he actually does. So he wins the king of hearts and leads a spade and pops up with the king. This seems somewhat reasonable, because if the spades do happen to be 4-2, it's likely that South has honor doubleton. I guess we could calculate this. It's been a long time since I've done some of these suit combinations, but with 6 cards missing, we're looking for honor doubleton of spades, so that would be 2 choices for an honor and 4 choices for a small card, so 8 total choices. as opposed to 4 choose 2 for the small doubleton spade, which would only be 6 choices. So from that perspective, playing the king of spades and hoping for the 4-2 split where South has a doubleton spade honor, again, we're assuming that the diamonds are split in this kind of distribution where North has short diamonds and South has long diamonds. So this makes sense. And okay, West has gone after spades to set up their 9th trick, but at this point, he knows that the spade suit is not going to provide enough because he can count now that South or that North has a bunch of hearts to cash if he gets in with a spade. So to make the contract from here, he just needs to guess what's going on in the club suit, and with no extra information, he can count North for 4 spades and 5 hearts and probably 2 diamonds, and therefore exactly 2 clubs. It is more likely that South has the queen of clubs than North. So it looks like we're going to be taking a club finesse at the end and going down in this contract. Yeah, and now North's actually able to cash out the last 2 tricks for 2 down. So going back to the start of the hand, I think a very large mistake by Declare at this table to duck a diamond. Again, I have seen a lot of beginner or intermediate players in this position with the South cards say, hey, I won the diamond trick, this is great, I'm going to return the suit, and continue. It seems like Declare is not interested in winning this. But the really strong expert play, as Vince showed us here, was to switch to hearts and try and set up a different suit. Now that we've collected one trick that we weren't even entitled to on this deal, we can try and set up tricks in another suit where our partner is actually going to be able to get in and cash them. Okay, so that's the first hand that I wanted to look at from this segment. Let's take a look at any other sort of deal that piques my interest. Well, there's a hand where the opponents, the Reynolds team, bid 6 clubs in the closed room and didn't happen to make it. Let's take a look at the 3 no trump auction from the open room with John Kraniak and Vince DeMoy. So East passed 5-5 in both red suits, but not enough high card points to open for sure. South opens a club, and despite having 15 high card points, he has a singleton. I know that some expert players prefer opening a no trump with these kinds of hands, but with clubs and spades, it's actually very easy to bid our hand after we open a club. If the 4 card suit that South had was hearts, it would be a little more challenging to show this opening hand after a club opening bid, and there could be an argument for opening a no trump instead. So after a club, whoops, I clicked forward, looking in the top left, so a club, a double by West. That is hyper aggressive, and I don't like that action at all. I mean, West's high cards are not particularly strong. With only 1 ace, it's not like the Queen Jack of spades or the King 10 of spades, for example, and it's not like the Jack of clubs is the Jack of hearts, where Jack 10 third of hearts would be good support for one of the majors. This is just 10 high card points. We're opposite a past partner. I understand that we're favorable in vulnerability, but we don't want to indicate to our partner that we have a stronger hand than we actually hold. And when the opponents happen to be declaring, which will happen most of the time on this auction, your partner passes first seat non-vulnerable, the opponent's open on your right, you don't want to give away the fact that you hold most of the missing high card points. So if the opponents, for example, needed to guess where the diamond ace was, they could figure it out. So okay, West doubles. North redoubles to show a strong hand. He has 11 high card points. Makes a lot of sense. East comes in with 2 hearts. This is somewhat reasonable. I wonder if I would just jump to 4 hearts with the East hand. We're favorable. Partner made a takeout double. I have a singleton in clubs opposite, partner's takeout double where the opponents have opened. So it seems like the opponents have a club fit. In these sorts of situations where the opponents haven't found their fit yet, it's very valuable to preempt them and deny them that sort of information while they're making decisions. Because even though North has 5 clubs on this auction, he doesn't know if his partner only has 3. And they could only have an 8-card fit, in which case, over 4 hearts, he might elect to defend and double instead of bidding 5 clubs and scoring a vulnerable game. So I like the concept, especially with a very weak hand, no defense whatsoever. Obviously, we don't know a whole lot about partner's hand. Partner could have decent defense for his takeout double, albeit not in the club suit, but in the other suits. He could have the king of spades, the ace king of diamonds, for example. We probably want to put the opponents to the test with this kind of hand. And I'm not sure the best way to do that. 2 hearts does kind of show the values of our hand, but it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the opponents to actually find their club fit that we already know they hold. So East bids 2 hearts, South comes in with 2 spades to show a strong hand. Pass by West, 3 clubs by North. Now North has shown his full hand, and he's been able to do this at the 3 level where they can identify what the right contract is. So over 4 hearts, for example, North would have a tough choice. He could double, he could bid 5 clubs. Well, South would probably end up doubling 4 hearts in this case. And I haven't looked too much at what how well that contract does. I know that West has a pretty poor hand for a takeout double. It looks like they have 2 spades, 2 hearts, club, and a diamond to lose for minus 500, but still a decent save against the opponent's vulnerable game. Okay, so North ends up bidding 3 clubs. We get 3 diamonds by East. Now I think East really should just be quiet. He's made his 1 bid. We have hearts. I understand that we also have diamonds, but the opponents have already conveyed exactly what their hand is. North has a strong hand opposite their partner with club support, and South has showed clubs and spades. So there's no real benefit for bidding 3 diamonds other than announcing to the opponents what they already know, which is that West has all of the high card points and East has distribution. So now you're further just helping them fill in the hand for the remainder of the auction as well as the remainder of the play. So this kind of bid, it doesn't really add anything to your side's chances. You're never going to declare this hand, and you've kind of given up that right by not preempting on the previous round. And so you're just helping out the opponents when you make bids like this. Okay, South bids 3 hearts, I guess showing a stopper, and North bids 3 no trump to close out the auction. We get the Jack of Diamonds opening lead, and I can count 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tricks. So I imagine we're just going to run the first 10 tricks, and that's going to be it. Yeah, he even claims before playing or completing trick 1. All right, so let's take a look at the auction to 6 clubs in the other room. We see that there's a spade and a diamond to lose, and there's nothing to be done about that, so this contract doesn't really have very much play, but the auction could provide some interesting details. So East passed, South opens a club, and this got alerted. I wonder if they're playing a strong club system. I don't recall from some of the previous rounds if that's something they were doing, but South opens a club and it's alerted, so that would make sense. West doesn't make a takeout double. Now, if they're playing a strong club, then West doesn't really have that option. North bids a no trump. Okay, so this does look like a strong club system at this point. So one no trump alerted and explained as 9 or more high card points balanced, could have a 5 card suit. Sure. South bids 2 clubs to ask for more information. 2 no trump by North shows 5 clubs. South bids 3 clubs. Okay, this all looks great so far. I mean, South with excellent controls finds a trump suit, establishes it, and now probably plans to bid some sort of key card. North bids 3 diamonds to reject a slam try, and South bids 6 clubs. Well, that seems like they're fighting a little bit. The partnership is feuding. When you reject a slam try and your partner immediately bids slam, you know something's gone wrong. Let's take a look from South's perspective. So I, once again, don't exactly know what all North's hand could look like for this auction. It's claimed to be balanced. Now we have 5 clubs, so this is probably a pretty normal distribution for North to hold. From South's perspective, the things we care about are the 3rd round of hearts, obviously the king, queen of spades, and the ace of diamonds, as well as the king of clubs. But the king of clubs is maybe less valuable given that we know we have a 10-card club fit. It could always be singleton, maybe we can take a club finesse. Nonetheless, with South having all the controls, bidding something like keycard doesn't really help him evaluate. So even though North has rejected a slam try, I'm not sure if North can hold the same hand with the diamond ace, or if North could hold the same hand with 2-2-4-5 distribution, where North has a doubleton spade as well. So all these questions would be something we'd need to ask ourselves in South's seat to determine if slam actually could be making on this sort of hand, given what we hold. But if North could hold one of these hands with the diamond ace or a doubleton spade, or even the spade queen instead of the club queen, then we do want to be exploring for this. And given that we hold all of the controls, we want our partner to be the one to bid keycard. So we want to Q-bid. I don't know how they would go about that in their system. Maybe a simple thing to do would be to bid 4 clubs over 3 diamonds to just further confirm that clubs is trump, and that we want partner to start Q-bidding or bid some sort of key card like kickback with 4 diamonds, for example. Alternatively, we could bid 3 hearts over 3 diamonds. This might sound at first like it's angled for 3 no trump. Partner might bid 3 spades over that, partner might bid 3 no trump. But then when we bid 4 spades next, or 4 hearts, or even 4 diamonds, we will be confirming that we're still interested in the club slam, even though partner said he wasn't. So these were all possibilities for this hand, but South elects to just jump to 6 clubs, which I think this isn't a great kind of bid for building a good partnership. Now, I don't know how long these two have been playing together. Maybe they're familiar and respect each other enough that, oh, it's okay, partner. You know, I rejected the slam try. You got a little anxious, bid 6 clubs. It's fine. Maybe there's some state of the match considerations that they're well behind in this match and need to do something to catch up. But I'm really in favor of trying to build a solid auction in these kinds of hands and make the right bid, as opposed to just blindly jumping to slam and hoping for the best, especially when your partner says they aren't interested. So West leads the ace of diamonds, and the opponents will get a spade trick eventually. And that will be the end of this hand. Yeah. 11 tricks claimed, and 1 down in this contract for another large pink up to the Spector team. Overall, at the end of the segment, Spector is well over 100 imps in the lead. Let's swap over here. And they seem to be cruising to victory. Not much more to say. I think these were some interesting deals. There were some difficult decision points, I would say, in the line of play, especially in the very first contract, that 3-no trump, where the choice of opening lead was rather interesting, to lead a diamond versus a heart. And then, of course, the decision to win the first trick and actively pursue a 9th trick, as opposed to what I would consider to be a lazy play of ducking the opening lead and allowing the opponents the chance to switch suits. Well, that's going to do it for today's coverage, and I will be back tomorrow with the 5th segment of the match. See you then.